Hello, everyone. Hello to the random talk. I'm not going to cut too long on the intro now again. I mean, like, every time when I start the self intro, it will be like, huh, who am I? I'm Omega Kita, and right next to me is...
Rizi, how?
Hey, before we started, I don't remember you using that voice ever again, though.
Nothing.
Nothing. Are you sure about that, young lady?
Scratch that.
You cannot stretch that. I can't even edit this. I'm just gonna upload this in the PR form as much as I can.
Yeah, I know about that.
But anyway, you go first.
Nothing. There's nothing.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because it's gonna sound so wrong. So yeah, just go ahead with the topic. What we were supposed to say.
Well, before we even go into the main topic today, I mean, like, we can talk. Let's just take our time to relax and chill and relax. And for everyone who are listening to this, just sit down, relax. Don't even need to place this phone in front of you and stare at two interactive image that is moving. You can just put the whole podcast into the background and listen and relax. I mean, like, if there's no way I'm going to do a fan service on doing something that is weird at the moment. You guys won't be seeing that anyway.
Why do you need to mention that one?
I feel like there will be time when there are people like, how to say this? I mean, like, even I don't mind staring at a YouTube video for 1-2 hours, just staring at nothing, And sometimes don't you have the feeling that sometimes when you got something to do, you need to do something, and then you still at the back of your mind is like, I just want to slack off and stare at my phone for 1-2 hours doing nothing at all. Don't you have that feeling?
Sometimes, but usually no.
Yape.
What do you mean, yape?
It mean that am I the only one?
No. I don't think so because I have known some people that actually do that. So you're in a clear.
I'm not sure should I be happy about that or so I feel a bit concerned about that. I mean, like, okay, the one thing, don't get me wrong, right? At the moment, it's actually freaking cold in Japan right now. To be honest, I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff I need to do, but at the same time, I've been taking a short nap here and there, like, especially before this whole recording, I was actually taking a short nap. It's not because I got having headache. I mean, yes, I did have a headache the day before, but today I'm fine. Just that after the reason why I fell asleep was that, when you eat something fulfilling, I was eating something very fulfilling, and it just caused me to fall asleep for a while. And I mean, like, I have to do some video editing. I need to do a recording. I was like, because the previous I sent in a previous recording of my a 5-minute short introduction to the Holo Star audition. The funny thing is that I sent my whole audition like just a few weeks before they say they are open up for the audition, and I was like, so I really do a new one.
For me, how about just send it again first and also prepare a new one, maybe?
No, I was like, I think they might have seen it. So I was like, how about let's just create a new one? But this time around, I won't heavily edit too much around that line along. I mean, like, that's why I was like, how am I going to do a proper? I mean, like, when I actually do the whole recording, the one thing for sure I would say that, when you want to relax and sit back, and at the same time you'd be like, why did I send that video earlier? So I have waited until they open up and then send it in.
That one is beyond control, okay? So you could not predict that one is gonna happen.
Yeah, the funny thing was that when I sent in that time, right, I was like at the back of my head, I was like, yeah, I know, I'm not going in, I'm not getting in. But at the same time, I was like, just send it in. And after that, do some podcasts, like building up my confidence on speaking much more faster and much easier. But I was not expecting it to be like a pew, a slap to my face. Yeah, Betisha. That's why especially right now, especially it's cold and I'm technically in hibernating mode, which means that I'm actually very lazy right now. And
Well, it's not wrong. It's not wrong because you're a half cat.
yeah, but the thing is, right, it's kind of disheartening if I don't get my act together. If not, I'll be like, what the hell am I doing anymore? Which, in case anyone are still wondering what we're talking about, we are going to talk up for today's topic is, I think Rizi-san might be, I mean, Rizi-san, we are aware of, we're going to talk is basically, we are going to talk about the temperature difference in our country that can affect us. And I mean, like, initially I want to talk about culture, but I feel like that is a little bit sensitive. So I was like, okay, how about let's just talk about temperature, how the weather in our country affect us. For me, I'll be talking both in Singapore and in Japan. My life back in Singapore and my life in current Japan, as well as the current life in Rizi-san situation. And we are not going to touch into culture because I feel like it's a little bit sensitive at the moment. But we try to keep everything within our safe boundary because I do not want people going and say, oh, you're going to touch something sensitive. Oh, get ready to press the dislike button. No. What I like is press the like button, and you know what's going to make me more happy? Press the subscribe button too.
Okay, I don't mind when people press a dislike, just as long as they did not report.
Please don't report and don't dislike. Press the like button and subscribe instead. And I'll try. And also, just write if you don't like any part, just write in the comment and let us know. Or even best, let me know. I mean, I'm still trying to improve on my current podcast. You can't expect me to improve in one shot. Okay, I'm just a nobody when there is like tons of YouTuber we are talking about last time, right? I mean, like, there's really a lot of YouTuber already. What do you expect me to do? We are just both two small time streamers and VTubers trying to make a living and trying to become famous in one day, but someday will happen. Just don't know when only. All right. I mean, like, okay, back to the main topic in hand. The temperature and weather in our country that is affecting us. I mean, like, as a person who used to live in Singapore, it's technically almost the same temperature as Malaysia. I mean, like, it's always these two weather about sun and rain, which I know a lot of people ask me about, like, why am I called Amiga Kita, and I always reply that, I mean, I used to talk about this in the past where I was like playing a game and I was using a character that is called Rain, Master Rain, and I was like, yeah, I like the character, so I was like, okay, since so I call myself Amiga Kita instead of the original Japanese term called Amiga Fulu. Amiga Fulu, the Fulu is basically the word translation as fallen, so it's like falling rain. But the thing is that the reason why I say calling myself Amiga Kita is that in Singapore we always say, I'm not sure about Malaysia, but it's like, sometimes instead of saying like it's pouring, and in English word it's called pouring, but in Chinese term when we call it's actually translated as the rain is coming. It's usually the rain is coming soon, because normally when in our country it's like once you see the dark cloud in the sky, you'll be like, oh, the rain is coming. It's not like the rain is gonna pour.
We have a rough words for it, but usually we just use lebat dah, which means it's gonna rain heavily soon. That is the rough translation for it.
Yeah, that's the rough translation. But the thing is that you always see the dark cloud, and it's always that dark cloud that you see in the distance. Whether is it very dark or very light dark, or as long as it's not white, you'll be like, it's gonna rain soon. There's no such
the devil, because right now I can directly see a black cloud from my window.
Okay, here's the fun part about having the dark cloud experience back in Singapore than in
Mm-mm.
Japan is that in Singapore and Malaysia, I'm not sure about other country, I think same situation might happen to Indonesia. But the thing is that whenever we see a dark cloud, it's always 100% it's gonna rain. Whether it be a quick one or a slow one or a long one or a short one, it's always a dark cloud will appear. And it's some sort of indicator that it became a norm for us to look into the sky in our. I'm not sure about most of you, but yeah, I always like look at the sky to see is there any dark cloud. If there is a dark cloud, it means it's gonna rain. but then again, it's like, huh. Well, how about your case though, Richie-san?
Yes,
Richie-san?
depending on where you are, because like if you're living in the, I think, capital city,
Mm.
the rain for some reason is more heavier than the one next to the beach. And I could not pronounce it properly. I'm so sorry if it sounds like a swear word.
No, it is. Okay, let's not stop. Let's not talk too much onto that word. But I mean it's true, especially like in some open area like some place. It definitely, I would say that it for some reason it will rain commonly, and I'm not sure about you guys though. I mean, like in our country where it's either sunny day or rainy day, I know there's a lot of people who love to go to the what they call it, a camping, or like building up a tent to enjoy the that kind of hiking. And I was like, if it's sunny, yeah, it's a good thing. But is it gonna rain? Isn't that like gonna be a huge mess? Like especially when the floor is when the ground is wet.
We're just gonna be rolling in the mud.
For some
Just roll
reason,
in the.
for some reason, when you say roll in the mud,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're gonna love it though.
Why?
Rizi-san, don't ask me why. Don't you always write in the comment whenever I stream in reality? Roll in the mud. Huh?
Well, I guess that.
Don't.
Okay, I'm not gonna finish that. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh yeah. It. I mean, like, okay, back to the case. I mean, like, personally for me, like, I have been to camping in Japan. The funny thing is, right, in our country, it's always like when we see the dark cloud, it's always raining. So when I first came to Japan, I was like, for the first year only, whenever I see a dark cloud, I was like, okay, bring umbrella, make sure I'm not hanging clothes. But right now, for 6 years, after staying in Japan for 6 years already, I was like, huh, dark cloud. Oh, okay. I still gonna have my clothes outside.
Eh?
But you have to understand one thing is that in Japan, when they really have the cloudy moment where you can see the dark cloud, but it will not rain.
Oh.
It's just basically called cloudy. I was like, back in our country, it's like what is our definition of cloudy in our country is like you can see the white cloud, but you don't see the black cloud. But in Japan, when you see the dark cloud, it's not rain. It's really cloudy. Especially like right now in Japan, when it's very when I say it's very cold, right? A lot of people don't understand how do you define the cold is that in Japan. I'm not sure about how you other people think about in other country, but from the place I stay, especially in the morning, it's common to see quite a few dark cloud, but it won't rain. And especially in winter period, it's always very, very cold, and a lot of people want the sun. It's like during the summer we don't want the sun, but during the winter we want the sun.
Yeah, that one is understandable.
Yeah, definitely. Which made me kind of wonder. I mean, like back in Singapore, in Malaysia, the one thing we all know is that we don't like the sun because it's freaking hot.
That's you. I like the sun because I don't like cold or
I-
rain.
okay, definitely. I don't. I personally, I'm rain, but I like rain when I'm staying at home. I don't like rain when I'm going out.
Well, that's it. Wait, no, never mind. That's actually understandable.
How is that not relatable?
But the one that I try to make I don't know, exception or understanding this.
Mm-hmm.
You are a cat
Yeah.
and cat does not like rain. And yet you can call out a rain. Like rain shaman, was it?
Like I mentioned before, because I was using a character in the past called Rain, Rain Master, and it just became part of my name because I was using a name called Amika Kita, and I was using another name in when it's during the winter. It's called Yukika Kita, which means the snow is coming.
I wonder what yabai. Never mind, I'm not gonna finish that.
Please don't. I mean, like, okay, I mean, like, it's not that I want to use Amika Kita at the time. I was going to give myself a proper Japanese name, but yeah, I have to. Well, let's just stick for Amika Kita for now. From now on. Probably in future, then I mean, like, isn't Armin like a easy name to remember? Probably in future, then I will rename myself. I will have to introduce my other ego. Why? Isn't it such a nice moment? I can able to use that voice once again, and everyone will be like, "Oh my, who is this person speaking?"
Oh no.
Why? Oh no, it's a bit. Oh yes, it's gonna be a nice.
No. Okay, speaking of rain, at least not just you and me, but also any people will at least at this experience.
About
There's no cloud, like there's I lost my words. Give me a second.
take your time. Drink some
Okay, never
water.
mind. In the sky you did not see any clouds, like it's gonna saying that it's gonna rain or anything. And out of nowhere, like it's a sunny sky, and for some reason a heavy rain pour down.
Definitely.
You will become flash and get every clothes or everything that needs to be covered up from the rain.
You know the funny thing is that in Japan, normally a lot of people in Japan always make sure to use they some of them use like Google, like they use the Google the iPhone apps to check, or if they are using like other phone, they will either use the Google, the Yahoo weather and other website just to check on the weather. Often more than not, if there is an indication of rain, they will just bring that umbrella just in case. Except during for summer period, it's always common to have an umbrella in your bag or with you, a small one, a portable one, just in case, because we do not know when there will be a rain, especially when it came to summer period. And it's only happen in Japan during the summer period, but back in Singapore, I'm not sure about Malaysia, is that whenever there is a moment of like when you go out, sometimes I know where you're going. It's like, oh, there's like, it seems like a sunny day, but if you don't bring an umbrella, out of nowhere it became rainy day.
Yeah, that always helps. Okay, the funny thing was that this is from my experience. On the day that I did not bring any umbrellas or any like raincoats, it's gonna rain really, really bad that at the point you could not walk. But if I bring them, it's not gonna rain.
So the conclusion is
No, it's not a conclusion. If my friends want to know or my family want to know, is it gonna rain today? They will ask me, do I bring anything to cover my head? When I reply no, they will go with, it's gonna rain today. Okay, they're gonna get an umbrella or prepare extra money to buy some umbrella.
I was like, okay, there is one way I always tend to check the whether it's gonna rain in Singapore or not. Is that I at the time used the Singapore app satellite. There is a satellite instead of like the system indicating it will rain or not. I go and check. You know, there is like they always show the kind of the map system where they will say that they will indicate the cloud the cloud of in the satellite mode, how the you know, like when there's a dark cloud moving, right? And I always set that Pacific satellite to see is there any rain cloud coming. Even in right now in Japan, I still do the same thing, and it does give me a preparation whether it will rain, because when they said it will rain or not, it always often more than not I always check the rain cloud first. If there's like nowhere there's no rain cloud, you can't expect the rain to be created in our country, because the one thing for sure, Singapore do not create its own rain. It's always rain cloud from another place being brought forward to Singapore and it pour. That's how it had always been in Singapore. So whenever I take a look, it's like if there is any indicator of dark cloud that is coming from Malaysia or from Indonesia, and I see the dark cloud, I will see like 3 hours before I take it's like, you know, sometimes it will show the satellite image like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours before. I compare the comparison and see the wind, how the wind flow goes. Mind you guys, I do not work in weather agency at all, but that's how I do my calculation. Is that I see the wind, how the wind cloud move. If there is any indicator of the rain cloud moving towards Singapore, I'll be like, okay, it's gonna rain.
Oh, you're not wrong for that.
It's just that the rain came to Singapore often more than not, it tend to be tame already, because the rain had already been poured very heavily either in Indonesia or Malaysia. Which is the reason why often more than not, when there is a heavy rain that is enough to cause a flood in Singapore, it's always tend to be the rain cloud that is considered very, very heavy, like very, very dark in color. I had lived in Singapore to the point of seeing flood myself, like to the ankle, not just the ankle area, but actually all the way to the knee area height. I had stepped in one before, so it's really, really deep.
How about the swimming one?
Not yet to be the swimming part, but it's enough to stop car at some area to pause and reconsider should they actually go past that area. I still understand why some people want to drive over a freaking puddle. It's not a puddle. I mean, like, if you're driving and you're a small puddle, I can understand. But if the puddle is enough to reach to the window of your car, I think you might have to reconsider going through that road. You might have to go. I mean, like, just pause and wait there, and then wait until the water cures. Somehow, it's like that's the reason why there was remember, I can't remember how many years was it back at that time, but I'm pretty sure I remember it was at that time when there was a moment the Singapore government actually have to step in and like clear all the drain system, because they realized that, because I remember that time it had not been flooded in so many years. So when it flooded because they were actually very confident in their drainage system. But when, I mean, like, the one thing is a lot of people tend to not understand is that when there is so many leaves, like a lot of people say that Singapore is full of greenery. Yes, but when those specific greenery leaf fell to the ground, go into the drain, when like one twice you can, if there is water, you'll float off. But if there is a whole chunk of leaf blocking the whole drainage system, it's gonna cause a flood because there is no water flow already. So I remember there was I remember there was a moment that the government have to step in and make sure that the drainage system have to be like, they have to have kind of like build a team, a high, or more like hire another group of people to go to every drainage, all the drainage stuff, all the metal, to take out the metal, pull out all the dirty leaf to ensure the water can flow back, and then go to another part to make sure that there's no leaf. Because I remember there was in the past there was a few drain, there is always a lot of leaf, and it was later on became a problem. And there was even one time I remember there was a lot of like like a lot of, there is always a drain at all the HDB place, at which basically mean for apartment in Singapore, how we call all the apartment, high rise apartment is called HDB. Like there is always a the drainage system. In the past they will use stone to cover up, and right now now it's all metal, because some people either stole the stone, or do something to the stone for some reason I don't understand. But I remember there was a lot of drainage system, and in some of the drain there is stuff that you do not want to see. I don't understand why. There is either dead rats or there is a cockroach, and there is even cases of a lot of leaf, and it's always caused a blockage. And after that, they make it into a metal bar so that you can see through it. And if anything, they can just pump it off away, or they will just have someone to like a cleaner to swipe it off, at least to make sure the drain is always clear. If not, if there is another case of flood again, it's gonna be a whole problem again and again. And I was like, remember at the time, even right now, I mean, like when there's a lot of flood, uh, the one thing that my mom will always tell me is like, yeah, it's flooding in Singapore right now. I was like, how flooding? To the ankle side or to the knee side, or is it to half her body side? She always say, it's only to the ankle side only lah. At least not. I mean, like the Rizi have in Rizi country is the worst though.
For those that do not know, try searching up Kelantan flood. It's one of the areas that always got flood, and the flood areas will go up to your chest. Worst cases, you could not even swim in it.
Fun part about it, using the freezer as a boat.
Freezer, using a sofa, a lot of things. At the point, I'm actually quite questioning: are we smart or dumb?
Why?
Because I forgot when, because I saw it on Instagram during at the time. Imagine the water can actually, it's high up, like it means that you could not walk in the water normally. And out of nowhere, this, for Malaysian, you will know which car I am talking about. This car just came out from the high flood and go back into the highway, like nothing happened.
Wow.
That's I think Abe might know this car. If I say Myvi, would you know which one?
Are you referring to the one that is the one who control the weather?
No, it's a car type, Myvi. MYVI.
A Navi.
A what?
Are you referring to? I was like, are you referring to the car navigation or something? I was like,
yes, car. It's a car. It's a car.
Oh.
People in Malaysia, we will say Myvi is king. Why? Because there's a lot of incidents that involves in Myvi, but for some reason the Myvi is not damaged, but the most expensive one can get damaged from the Myvi.
I'm starting to like, why is such a at least idiom. I mean, like, the one thing I have to be sure, if you're talking about the road in Malaysia, it's actually as confusing as hell,
Why?
Okay, this is just my perspective.
Mm-mm.
I had been to Malaysia myself, so I can't. I can't say is it at all part of Malaysia, but at night time, the street lamp is definitely not very bright on some area, and some of the road signs are actually very hard to see. Like,
You're not wrong on that.
and
You're
and
not wrong on that one
and
because
when
there's a lot. In some cases, including the oldest road, you will not be seeing any like any street lamps. It means that it's just pure pitch black.
and,
And
mm-hmm.
usually the worst part is it is in the woods.
Which always refer as the word using the what, ulu ulu.
Yep.
I mean, okay. I mean, like, we always refer those place as the ulu place, which in anyone need to know is basically meaning old the old road or the old wood. The one thing for sure is that the problem I have with Malaysia road is that they, in the past, before some government create some company that is treating people saying they're going to improve Malaysia, I have no idea what it's called. Start with a company called one something something something. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that it was supposed to help improve the road, not just the making the road runnable, but at the same time, like, repair the road sign, add more street lamps, so that what you guys might experience in Singapore, what you guys see like Singapore as a bright country, a nice place, it would have had been for Malaysia if not for some government and some company that is cheating people of the money at the time. I mean, like, Rizi, you are aware of that situation because it was such a huge news in Malaysia, right? I mean, it does come as a shock to Singapore to some Singaporean, but at the time we were all like,
It's not for Singapore, but
mhm.
almost every country was in shock in hearing it of the news.
Yes, definitely.
And I was like, we call some of us refer this as it's not victim though, but it's more to I forgot the English term, but it's more in Malay we call it mangsa keadaan. It means that you have experienced it and it might happen again.
you if you're gonna step into the territory of politics, the one thing I would say for sure is that in my family, in my not my whole family tree, but within my mom and my uncle, and we always talk about politics in my own household, but because we prefer to talk it within privately. The one thing I always say that especially my mom always told me about it is that she said that it she only said that she believed that it's in Malaysia, especially what happened to the previous prime minister. She always said that what he did was learning from his predecessors, the president, basically like someone who is the oldest prime minister, which I had no idea what happened. But the thing is that he also, I was told, okay, apparently that he's also did something similar, and then it's just that he covered his track is more better, and just that later on someone who take over the position also say, if he can do something, why can't I do it and I can do it even better. So it became like what happened to basically it became a huge scandal, and in the sense is that it affect the country, and the previous prime minister before this current one was like, yeah, I think I can come back. And then the funny thing is that at the time I should actually say this out loud as a before I was a Amika Kita or even a streamer at the time. I actually say this out loud at the time was Malaysia voting. Yeah, na. You are given two choice where 2% are very greedy, and whoever you vote is gonna be greedy again.
I could not say about this, but for those that actually keep up with the politics one in the Malaysia currently that we are changing minister, right?
Uh-huh.
And due to some issues, the Sultan or the one that has the most power in Malaysian actually choose the prime minister. Not based on votes this time due to the issue.
Yeah, the funny thing is that
And
I mean, like, if the people are given choices, at least give them a good choice, a choice they can put their trust in. But at the same time, I mean, like,
no, I mean like for those that actually pay attention the backgrounds of it.
yeah, that is. But the funny thing is, right? A lot of people didn't know this one about this one specific thing is that the crown prince of Malaysia, he himself studied in Singapore. He loves Singapore.
Yeah, I know.
And when the oldest prime minister of the century decided to just do something yabai to Singapore, he actually stepped in to protect Singapore. And I was like, we are all actually, don't get me wrong, we are all very grateful for him. But at the same time, it just caused, I think it opened up the eyes for Malaysian people how bad the government in Malaysia was from then to now. And
Yep.
and at the same time I can understand why, because a lot of people didn't know this, that in Malaysia there is two types of government. There is the government that is voted by the people, which is basically what we call the prime minister, that is the first government that is like leading over the whole of Malaysia. Then there is the the royalty government, the government that is basically the loyalty, the king. There is really still a king in Malaysia. A lot of people not aware of it in other countries, but there is a king and there is the crown prince. The crown prince, the one thing is that I remember I was reading into the history of some of the stuff in Malaysia, the whole past of Malaysia and Singapore. A lot of people didn't know is that Malaysia and Singapore used to be part of together, so that Singapore, in order to become independent, it has to be part of Malaysia, so that Singapore can no longer be part of the British rule. Because Singapore was actually colonized by Britain in the past. And after it got taken in World War II by the Japanese occupation, the British wanted to take Singapore back after the World War II because they feel like they colonized it should be theirs. But if anyone who know about colonization, yes, Singapore do not want to be part of Britain after they lost the war, because I know they win the World War II, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people lost the trust of the Britain government over Singapore, because a lot of people didn't know is that Singapore put the trust for that if you colonize us, you have to protect us throughout. You don't just abandon us. In the end, they abandoned Singapore at that time. It's considered abandoned. A lot of people, especially the Chinese, think that they in the Malay at that time is that they think that the Britain abandoned Singapore, and after that, Singapore decided to go independent. But the only way was at the time, well, led by the then minister, the late Lee Kuan Yew. He actually make it that okay. What deal can they make to let Singapore be independent by being part of Malaysia? which come across that which is the reason why Singapore was later technically merged with Malaysia under the minister of, hear me out carefully, the name which you guys have might be short, the then Prime Minister Mahathir and the Singapore Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. And because there was a lot of Chinese in the total of between Malaysia and Singapore, Mahathir, I know it's already a fact that he's a freaking racist already. A lot of people didn't know that. Is that he want Malay first, and and the funny thing is that Chinese was actually beating the numbers of Malay people at that time. So in order to balance that out, to make sure the Malay people is first and a lot of Malaysian people, he actually take in also Brunei. That's the reason why Brunei is also part of Malaysia and not other. That's why if you see the whole Malaysian map, there's one out of nowhere that is not in the Malaysia Peninsula, but another part of another island.
Just it's actually just a really small place.
Yes, because that part is also because they just take that because that place also people speak Malay, so we okay, you're not part of Malaysia. all in all, just to beat out the Chinese number of Chinese people in the whole of Malaysia and Singapore at that time.
Yeah.
Which I'm not if you guys still denying that the freaking prime minister the minister Mahathir is not a racist. Look at what he did throughout his years as a minister. He is a freak. I had no idea why a lot of Malaysians never never look into it. But it's just that I'm gonna get bashed for saying this out. I'm gonna get a lot of dislike for saying this. But I can assure you guys that what he did, it's just that he is saying that he's not, but the way the way he action on it is freaking racist already. I don't know about you guys.
Okay, it's not. That's actually from other people's perspective, which is you guys are not under his control at the time. For those that is under his control and dislike him will know what is happening.
Oh, you know what is happening?
Like, my parents are quite against him because when he was in charge of being a prime minister, people are gonna hate me when I bring this back up. GST.
Oh.
Yes. That is actually one of the reasons that a lot of people, because that person just say that, oh, we don't have to hand out money to anyone like poor children or anything. We don't have. They need to find it for themselves. F you.
Yeah, I think that's also the reason why I think there's also because of that I remember the time when a lot of people didn't know this, that the reason why Mahathir lost to Najib later on was because of that too, and the way he's want to run Malaysia at that time is that a lot of people didn't know is that the culture difference between, I'm not sure about Malaysian people thinking, don't get me wrong, but the tradition, like what I mentioned, that's the reason why I always say that stepping into culture is always a little bit sensitive, is because the religious thinking and is always play a part in a political way, somehow, some way, because some of the government, they are brought up in a different environment than what you guys might think. And I always tell this to Singapore government a few times myself in real life. Is I even meet a few of them in real life. I always say this to them: try stepping into a commoner lifestyle. Don't use any car. If you say that why Singapore transport is always a problem, I say why not you go and take the bus? Why you not take the train yourself at a busy timing and see for yourself what is truly happening?
Yeah, big.
A few of them did, and there's a funny thing. That's the reason why in Singapore there is a funny running gag that the Minister of Transport in Singapore never lasts long. Is that because they knew it's a freaking problem? It's a really a freaking problem. The time when I was young, like before, like 10+ years ago, I was raising this issue long ago. I was like, I'm not an activist. I'm not a person. I just meet a government. I just say that I'm facing this problem as a commoner. Because I was like, I see a government, I was like, how about you guys go and look it? And they would be like, okay, no problem, we can look into it. But when they look into it, they realize it's a huge pile of trash.
Is it really that bad?
If you want, I can I can make it a topic to talk with Kathleen next time, and Kathleen and I will emphasize on that more because we need a Singapore. There's no point of me saying it now as a Singaporean, because when there is more people to validate my claim, that would be nice. That's why I will do a podcast with Kathleen to talk about the situation on that next time. But if you go and ask Kathleen, the number of breakdown in Singapore at the time is on the train breakdown, okay? Of any, I mean, like, if you can have a bus breakdown, you just get a new bus to replace it. But when there's a train breakdown that affect the whole line in Singapore, every single line, you know what is happening.
Yeah, big.
That's just how bad the situation was in Singapore. If you guys want to know more, just go and write Singapore MRT, Malaysia, Russia, Texel, MRT breakdown. A lot of story about it. And the funny gag was that whenever the government indicated how many days since last breakdown, the next day definitely a breakdown.
Wow.
So I remember a lot of people say, don't. If there's a news saying that how many days since last breakdown, everyone will be like, okay, next day we're gonna take bus or take taxi. Which is the reason why Uber and Grab at that time was a very popular choice, because they was like, since we know the train is gonna break down, we are gonna take the taxi anyway. And when there's a lot of people taking the taxi, it's gonna cause a traffic jam. Since Singapore is also, a lot of people didn't know that traffic jam in Singapore is also another crazy stuff, because Singapore is not that big, and that will be a whole new different story. But I can assure you guys, it's really crazy to the point that
I only have seen from some news, but I never see it in real life yet.
you mean
From news, but still, yeah, big. It looks really, really bad.
if you go and write, okay, there's also another thing is that I mean, like, the one thing a lot of people don't know is that the train breakdown cause disruption, and especially from where I'm staying at that time. I won't say, because if I say where I'm staying, it's gonna cause a lot of problem. So especially in Singapore, it's not that big anyway. But the one thing I can show you guys is that from where I stay, it used to be not cramped at all. It used not to be very, very cramped at the time, and not a lot of people used to stay, but because of the development and the area that I stay was actually considered one of the biggest area in the whole of Singapore. There is, like, I know a lot of people say, what area? Okay, just take it that, like, Singapore is a small country. The capital is called Singapore, definitely. But in Singapore, there is, like, we can't just call, like, all the place Singapore. We have to give every small place a name. Like, basically, prophet or state, whatever you call it. And from where I stay at that time, the Provident, we call it Provident, but the thing is that you can, if you guys want to call it a state, you want to call it whatever, yes, you can call it that way. But in my place, if you go and type, I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm just gonna drop the hint, is that it's one of the largest area in the whole of Singapore. So when it became developed at that time, there was a lot of people taking the train from one Pacific station, to the point that there was even one time when there was a train delay it caused a lot of people to stand at the station top, and they have to stop people from taking the elevator because there were a lot of people was pushing through the elevator and realized that no one is able to move anymore because the top the 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 platform was full of people. It was so filled with people that people couldn't. They have to pause the elevator to stop elevator from moving, so that people have to wait at the stairs to because they realized that at that time that the train was not coming out on time. A lot of people say that in Japan, I like one thing about in Japan is that despite the train fee being expensive, despite the train whatsoever, they are always on time. But in Singapore, there is a running gap when they say the train will be arriving in 1 minute. Oh, that's gonna be 2 minutes, 3 minutes later. I know there's many other world country which they say 1 minute is like 1 hour, 2 hours. I have seen a lot of mean of that, but in Singapore, um, when they say like the next train arriving at 3 minutes to 5 minutes, it's always more than 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's always very long, and when there's a breakdown, oh, a huge problem later. Especially like you know what's the worst part? If it's raining, at least we are not okay. It's gonna be cooling, so at least that will be a nice. But if it's gonna be a sunny day, everyone will be like hot, piping hot. Rizi-san,
Mm.
you were saying. I mean, like that's the situation in Singapore, but I have to say that at least it's how do I say it? I mean, like personally, for me, I don't really like take the train. I don't like taking the transport in Singapore, but that's the only way to move around Singapore, though. What about you, though? I mean, like, I always hear from you that you always take the train or take the bus, and it seems to always take a long time to reach your house.
Depending on, I guess, the timing. If I use the train like before this, I go back and forth from home to class. So it take around. It's supposedly, if not a busy time, and I'm going on the express train, it's supposed to take around 3 hours.
You know, the one thing
But
is 3 hours sitting for 3 hours. Wait, so okay, in total 3 hours, or from house to school 3 hours, something like that.
because the train won't stop at a lot of stops. Like there are gonna be less stops, so roughly 3 hours.
I got a question. How are you gonna pass that 3 hours?
Either I sleep, play games, or just, I don't know, stare into nothingness.
Stare into the nothingness.
I'm not even joking when I say that. I just stare out of the window for no reason, and then just say to myself, "Yeah, babe, I got motion sickness just from staring out from the window." Oh no.
I can't even. Okay, I'm gonna use one word. I think you know what's the word mean, but I'm just gonna say it. Normally, I don't use that word a lot, but you want me to go? You want me to go and sit in the train for 3 hours? You think I can tahan or not? They cannot one lah.
Yeah, I do understand.
In case anyone need to understand, it's mean that if you want me to sit in the train for around 3 hours, I can't bear it. Okay, it's impossible.
Okay, that is just 3 hours going.
Yeah, that's the thing. 3 hours going, right? It mean that you like one day, 24 hours. Let's say that you take the train to school and then back again. That means that 6 hours, you know. That's 6 hours of traveling. It means that 1/4 of your day is gone already, you know.
Yep. When my parents decided that, oh, how about we just send our daughter using a train and not using like our cars, because at the time, because it was already 3 or 4. So if using cars, it's only took around 1 hour or 2 hours. But when they decided to go onto the train, they say that how can you survive like this? Easy. I don't.
How many more years do you have to you have to do that? As in, like, going to the school and taking the train. How many more years do you have to do that?
Like right now, I don't have to ride the train anymore because I have a what do you call it? A room near to the college, so I don't have to go into train anymore. I
Something like
just go.
something like a dormitory.
It's not even a dorm. This college does not have a dorm because it is a private school.
So
So you need to find it for yourself. If it's a government one, they will give you a dorm. Just only for I forgot 4 or 5 months. Afterwards,
you still have to fight.
out.
What? And they say that Malaysia comes first. Huh.
That's BS.
I ain't been lied to.
Well, I guess it's actually depending on which university, college, or any place that you are learning because different places had different image, you can say.
The one thing is that at least wait, just a minute. Before I get the wrong information out or something, is that right now you are staying in a place that is near to the school. You have to pay for the rent. How near? As in the traveling distance, is it gonna be like 1 hour, 2 hours, or is it just only like a few minutes and you will definitely reach?
Roughly from because like I said before, I am on the 30th floor, 30. So I need to go down more early. So in worst case scenario is a kid walking up to the floor button and just spam everything. I need to wait for about 30 minutes just to go down.
Okay, let's say that you are you are stepping out of on the first floor already, from your first floor to the
From the house from the apartment right now, first floor to college, roughly 20 minutes too, because there actually have a heavy traffic if I go around 8.
I guess 20 minutes is better than the 3 hours of traveling, like sitting for nothing. I mean, like, if we remove the lift issue, that is like for example, let's say that you remove the lift issue, you 20 like 40 minutes. That is like you save out around 5 hours of your life.
Yes, one, and second, at least I managed to get some food because when I go back and forth from my house until the college, sometimes I could not even eat because the first train that came to my place was around 5,
Huh.
and I need to be there at 4.
Glad to hear that you are eating out not some nice food, but make sure to eat something healthy too at the same time. Okay. I mean, like, you're studying in culinary. What are you gonna do? Be a chef
I,
VTuber?
they already are, so it's not wrong if I want to be one.
Yeah, I'm not stopping you. You can be one. It's just whether how are you gonna do a culinary? What kind of culinary? I mean, like, if I do my cooking, I mean, like, you've seen some of my cooking already, right? To be honest, I won't say they are chef level area because I what I'm cook is just basically home cook, easy to cook type. But at the same time, I'm not saying they still, some of them still have, some of my cooking still have to use a little bit of technique, like I mean, like, I think the latest one that one of the hardest thing I did was a fried chicken. A lot of people say that fried chicken is easy. No, you have to marinate the chicken.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's actually not easy. A lot of people think that fried chicken is easy. Yeah, you could. That's the reason if you go out and buy a fried chicken, it's not cheap. You just look at the Korean fried chicken. You look at they are always very expensive because you have to marinate the chicken so that the chicken will absorb the spices, or if you are using, or at least tenderize the chicken meat. Because if you actually use a raw chicken meat and you just like panko fried it, like basically meaning that flour, egg, and bread crunch, the chicken meat will, I can assure you guys, it's gonna taste a little tough. But if you marinate a chicken, basically like put it in buttermilk, or which is basically vinegar and milk. So if you use milk, buttermilk, I know a lot of people go and buy buttermilk. If your country sell it, it's good. But if your country don't sell it, it's normally milk and vinegar. Just put milk, put vinegar, quite a sum of vinegar, not just a few drops. Okay, a few drops is not gonna make it. You have to put quite a sum of the vinegar for it, because the acidity is gonna eat into the chicken, and the milk is gonna make the meat juicy, and then you have to kind of like do the, like what I mentioned, flour, egg, and big crunch. If you don't like egg crunch and egg, you want to just eat pure chicken, fried chicken, then make sure that when you do a double coating, which is basically taking the the chicken from the buttermilk marinade, put into just dry it first, coat it with the flour first, pat, and then put it back into the marinade again, and then put it back into the flour. This time it will be called, we call it double coating, and fried, it's gonna be even crispier than that's how most fried chicken go about, because if they don't use the panko frying, it's always double, it's actually the flour being dipped twice. That's the reason why when you eat the fried chicken of some, right, a lot of people think that the fried chicken, those skin are actually, they think that the skin is actually the fried chicken skin. No, it's actually bread crunch only. Either bread crunch or the flour itself. So
Okay, now that you mentioned about fried chicken, like I said before, for anyone that already aware of it, that I went back to the village, right? Like, due to some, it's not even some, because the coincidence of this happening, some people are getting married and some of them pass away at the same time, so I need to go back.
Okay.
But when one of my cousins said that, because it was midnight and we need to check into a hotel that does not have like food stalls near it, so we need to go farther away from those. At the time, one of my siblings said directly at the menu saying that, "Kak, I want the chicken chop." Okay. I just say, okay. And when it arrived, where's the meat? Where's the chicken? Like, the whole thing is just how am I supposed to explain this? It's similar to just get flour, get what telur is? Okay, never mind. Eggs. Get flour, get eggs, mix it up, put it into a frying pan, and just serve it.
Is that even called chicken? Wait.
It's not even chicken.
A lot. Okay.
You want to know? Okay, if you want to know how big the meat in the chicken chop is, for me, is the size is 2 fingers.
Oh god, I feel like that is called chicken tender instead.
No, like I still remember that it's not just me. I was surprised that even one of my cousins also went up to the counters asking, "What is this?"
Well, I thought they used that amount to cheat foreigner, but the thing they also cheat Malaysia
One
people.
thing, you try to trick 2 culinary students.
Okay, if it's chicken palm, I can understand. But okay, in case anyone need to know what is chicken chop, in we call it chicken chop because
it's similar to fish and chips.
Chicken palm already. Chicken chop is different name, you know. Chicken chop is the meat flattened out and then and then grill and pan fry it, you know. That is chicken chop, you know. And then have to cover in gravy. Rizi-san? Just mate. Hello?
Wow, you just disconnected at the perfect moment.
Yeah, just when I was talking about chicken chop. Damn it. Okay. Isn't chicken chop the one where we have something like teriyaki chicken style? Basically, you have to pan fry and then you add a gravy to it. Isn't that called chicken chop?
Yes, that one.
Because there is okay. In case anyone needs to know, there's many ways we call we don't call it chicken palm. We call it chicken. There's a few ways we call. There's a chicken cutlet, which is basically chicken palm. Just that you eat. It's just that you flatten the chicken meat, put in the flour egg, bake crunch, and then serve it with either rice or with French fries or chip, whichever you like, and a side of salad. And then there is the chicken chop, which is the same side, but the chicken chop is basically it's normally tend to use chicken thigh. We tend to use chicken thigh or chicken leg, and it tend to be like marinate first, and then pan fry it, and then add the gravy to it. Then that is chicken chop. Then there is also chicken tender, which is basically like what you guys all know, the chicken, just the finger chicken, the fish and chip style, but it's just that is
Just using chicken.
yes,
That's all.
it's just using chickens. So there is 3 different type of chicken, and often more than not, there is some other like lemon chicken, which is basically chicken tender with or chicken palm with lemon sauce as a sauce, and it just make it even lemony taste. That's all. It's amazing how I still remember a lot of food I tend to eat back in Singapore.
I think I still remember if some like new the examination last time, we could not choose the recipe that we want during the exam, so we need to take a vote. It's not take a vote, pick a vote. It means that if you got chicken chop, you need to do that, and you could not change or
It's not easy though.
like change.
It's not gonna be easy though. I can assure you guys that.
No. I'm lucky because I got pasta and wait, what was that again? Spaghetti and chicken bolognese. So
Oh,
I managed to get lucky for that one. I just
those
need to do the pasta by my own.
do you have to make a handmade pasta or just the dry pasta?
No, like handmade pasta.
Isn't handmade a bit problematic? Like take a long time.
No, because there's actually a different technique that you can speed it up.
Yeah, okay.
But for me, I still remember that it's actually during class and it's actually one of the lessons. It's my group because everyone was so busy doing I forgot what it's called, coleslaw, was it? Like in
Croissant.
KFC, there's actually the white one.
Huh.
I forgot. It's mostly from carrots. I forgot the English terms for this vegetables. The only thing I remember was
Red
carrots and
radish? The white carrot looking is called radish? Or are you referring to
no. It's the normal carrot, the orange one.
the orange carrot is not orange?
Cabbage. Okay, the other one is
Cabbage.
cabbage.
Are you referring to croissant, right?
I don't know how to pronounce it because
Yes, the one that you
I
can normally
always
eat.
mispronounce the word as cholesterol for some reason.
Hey, you're not the only one, okay? It's pronounced as croissant. But
Okay, if
but
you mispronounce it in front of your friends, it's okay. But if you mispronounce it at the counter, because I have a friend that mispronounced this one.
You
You
mean
know the word a la carte?
a la carte?
No. The way how she say it, a la carte.
In the past, I just pronounce it a la. I want the Allah only.
What Allah? Usually people will refer Allah as oh God. Usually in Malaysia, so do not use it like that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I want the Allah. Hey, at least not a la carte. I mean, like, a lot of people don't know is a la carte is basically mean just the dish itself. But when you pronounce Allah, it's actually mean oh God. So I was like, I want that oh God.
Wow, that's a word.
Hey, I mean like. We do not. If we're gonna call it a la carte, imagine if we pronounce a la carte in Malay way. Isn't it gonna be a long different meaning?
In a Malay way. I'm trying to think of it.
Okay, cut. Just the cut itself. What any word that is come out to your mind when you use the word Malay car?
If guide, the similar word is potong.
No. What I mean is that a Malay term, a Malay word?
Like for CARTE, no, but CUT, yes.
Yeah. So basically, the cut itself. So it's like car because any Malay words that sound car.
So I am not sure.
Because at that time, because I know is that Allah is mean oh God, so that's the reason why I always joke with I want that Allah when I was young. I was like I want that Allah. Okay, in case anyone need to know, that at the time I was like Allah carte, as I pronounce it as Allah K. I actually mispronounced it as Allah K at that time. The one thing, the reason why I was like saying, because it's like my friend once told me that when I was like saying Allah car at the time, he told me, you want a, oh, you're asking a god for a car. I was like, huh? So after that, I was like, I want that Allah. I was like, oh no, oh Allah is being God. Okay, I want that Allah. I want that God.
Because we're still talking about food, does fast food restaurant counts for this topic?
Yeah, it can become. I mean, it's totally random talk.
Okay. I have stumbled across a few times. In Malay we call it OKU, which means orang kurang upaya. It means that people have a disability, either hearing, seeing, or anything that is not perfect, right? I know it's a quite sensitive topic, and because I have met some people and I do have friends with them. I forgot when, but it's actually around this year. I went. One of it was I went to KFC, and one of the employees at the time could not hear, so she did not know what I was ordering, and I was shouting for about few minutes until one of, like, I know that she is quite afraid because it might be her first time, I guess, but I just started shouting and did not see her badge saying that proud to serve, meaning that the person is having disabilities.
Yeah, I remember there was a situation. I remember about the KFC. Actually, in a lot, I'm not sure about other country, but I still remember in Singapore that we also hire quite a few deaf people with deaf. Like, I remember there was cases about people saying like they are hiring but they can't hear. So I remember they actually, in order to make it better, they make the badge say that I can't hear you, but I can serve you. I remember they.
Oh yeah.
They never.
We do have it. If I'm not mistaken, it's for Domino's, was it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
Because I remember, I remember because they might be disabled, but doesn't mean that they can't work. So I remember there was a problem in a lot of people saying like it's not that we don't want those people to work, okay? It's just that make a huge badge like in their like a badge for them to wear indicating they are either deaf or disabled, something like, just if they are deaf, at least put they are deaf. I know it's very controversial, but it's for us to know that they can't hear it, because when we see that badge, we are not going to take pity on them. We know that what we need to do. I know it's like, oh, it's just because the person is deaf, you're gonna do no. When we know they are deaf, we know we don't need to shout. We know that we just need to point our finger at the menu, indicating what we want. They will do what they will know what we want already. We can use can catcher, but we don't need to shout. But the thing is that we need to know they are deaf, because there is no point on us shouting. Because I remember there was a moment, a lot of people was like, there was just a short moment, because I remember reading that, and I have been to a KFC with a person who is deaf working at that place, and I tend to eat at that place a lot, and to the point that she remember what I want often when I go there to eat, because I want when it's like, if I want a la carte, like for example, if I want a zinger burger, I need to just point the zinger burger, and then when I say, and I just circle, like use my hand to circle the side, and I just put a cross sign, meaning to say just the burger only. So it's basically point the burger, but when I point to the side, I say no, circle the French fry and the drink. I just cross it. She will just know. Oh, I just want the burger only. It's just to indicate some sort of hand gesture. At least I know she is there. I know I don't need to shout. It's like, if there's no.
At the time, the menu is actually really close to you, right?
The funny thing is that I remember the menu in the past was very small. A lot of people didn't know
Like
it's
right now,
right now.
like the one that I got, like one of the KFC that I went does not have a close, like the menu is closed. So you actually need to point to the screen. So people might misthink, I want to order, like for example, I want to order set A, but this person might think I want to order set B. In the end, I just write it down.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I remember there was a moment. I mean, like, there was a moment when the KFC and McDonald's, their menu was actually very, very less. Right now it's like a lot though. The last time I've been back to Singapore was like 3 years ago. When I saw the menu, I was like, what happened within these 3 years when I'm not in Singapore? I was like, damn, they increased a lot of ingredients. Okay, in case anyone need to know, is that there wasn't much variety of burgers or whatsoever. Like in McDonald's, there is just the Big Mac, there is a McChicken, there is the McSpicy, there is the filet o fish, and the cheeseburger. These six, I can remember these six. And then later on, they add a lot of different, like, I think remember some sort of burrito looking burger, or some sort of salad, this, that, and whatsoever. And then in KFC, I remember it was just zinger burger, 2-piece chicken, 3-piece chicken, their own. It's like not a lot. And right now, when I remember when I go back and eat, I was like, they freaking got 2-piece spicy, 2-piece original, 3-piece spicy, 3-piece original, or even sometimes they got like pepper spicy or whatsoever different one, and then there's the zinger one, and then there's the cheese fried one. It's like, how many are they gonna increase, for God's sake? But at the same time, I can't blame them for it, because a lot of people didn't know is that unlike other country where they always say that stable menu means stable thing, and just add a few limited edition. But in Singapore, I'm not sure about other country, but I'm pretty sure that in Malaysia and Singapore, most people tastes are very, very picky.
Yep. Because I actually, like I said before, I think I only told Army that I have worked not just as people at the counter, but also in the back. Okay, imagine this person is asking like the set of menu, like they're already told what is in the menu, right? There's gonna be rice, gravy, and also I forgot the other one. If I'm not mistaken, was it like a little salad bowl, right? This person said it's quite confusing on this one. This person does not want any rice, does not want any salad, and the last word was do not put anything on it. It
Just
was
just the meat itself.
one thing. The menu that person ordered does not have any meat. So it's quite confusing. Are you trying to eat the plate? Just eat only the plate?
What is the person trying to order again? No meat. And then then you include rice and
The
salad
good thing that
and now
the
you tell
good thing that was
uh-huh. And the good thing was
the good thing that was that person is not alone. So the other pair was actually came up saying to the counter saying that, oh, this person is actually vegetarian. Then why did he cancel the salad? Because the partner just say that, oh, because it has mayonnaise. Okay. You
mayonnaise. A lot of people didn't know vegetarian cannot eat mayonnaise.
no, I mean like that person just can that person can just go up to the counter and say that, oh, I'm a vegetarian.
So what can you what did he eat?
In the end, he ate, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, there's just salads, just no mayonnaise, and like a few like nuts type for protein.
And got any rice? White rice?
Nope.
Huh. Weird. Eat what? Damn.
Weird and confusing.
Eat. At least that is better than the last time when I was serving in a American restaurant. American restaurant, not America. I don't work in America. Okay, guys, let me put it out. I was working in a in Japan in an American restaurant where we have to serve fast food and yes, one of them is a hamburger. I was the fryer, so I was doing the French fries and preparing the bun, the salad, everything. And there's there's always the head chef or the sous chef always doing the patty. I remember one specific order was, I won't say which because it was just reduce. I'll tell you guys which restaurant I work for. So basically, I want the Pacific burger, but no bun. I want a hamburger with no bun.
What?
Hamburger without bun. BUN. Basically the bread.
Oh, the bun.
And
You say bun.
not bao. I mean bun. I always pronounce it as bun.
Okay.
I was like hamburger without bun. And the whole kitchen at the time was like, is it still called a hamburger? A hamburger without bun. Is the hamburger? Isn't called hamburger.
Nope. Not hamburger, just ham.
Just
I think.
the hamburger. It's just a hamburger. You know like there's a the hamburger is basically just a patty. So basically it's a thing in Japan. There's two type of hamburger. With the bread is called a hamburger. Without the bread without the bun, just the meat itself is called hamburger.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Huh.
Basically it's just the take a lot. If you go and check hamburger, Hamburg, it's actually a thing. And this is the funny thing a lot of people didn't know is that basically they serve this without the bread, but they eat it with rice.
Trying to imagine how it's supposed to look like.
That's why I type out the name. I mean, I spell it out for you, and then you can search it out later on. Just basically Hamburg, hamburger, if I'm not wrong. It's really that how it's spelled. And I think in some country they might have served it, but basically they just serve just without the bread. And I'm not sure is it I think in some it might lead you to some country or whatsoever, or some name. But if you type it in, you have to. I think you have to write Japan too, just in case, because it's actually a thing where they serve just the patty. They serve
Oh, you
just
mean like a salad burger? That's actually a thing.
that's
It's actually a street food.
it's just
It means
basic.
that you just put lettuce and put I forgot what it is. Like any type of burger meat into the lettuce and just roll it up, serve it.
The,
Is it that one?
it's just
Does
that
it look similar to it?
okay. Basically, it's just the meat itself with some gravy. If for some people might add some gravy, and normally it's a side of some salad. Like sometimes it's commonly carrots or cauliflower or the broccoli and a little bit of side like either rice or chip or French fries. Either one of these three. So basically, is if you go and search it up, it's a thing. It's just basic and. You know like there is two types of steak. The steak is basically the American style steak where it's one whole piece of meat, right? Rizi-san?
Yes. Why this guy?
Okay, basically there is the steak. Then there is also another where they chop up the meat, grind it, and then put it back into some sort of hamburger patty. But instead of putting in a bun, they serve it just the patty itself with a few sides.
Uh, uh.
So basically that's a thing. And when someone ordered a burger without the bun, we was like, even though we are all living in Japan at the time, I was like, I want a hamburger without a bun. And I was like, is that still called a hamburger or is that called hamburger?
Hamburger without the burger.
Probably, if you guys have to search it out because I don't really want to edit the image into my into the video. It will be a huge charge for me though, guys. So I'm so sorry about this, but I can assure you guys that it's a thing. You just need to type hamburger HAMBURG. You can also and then just write S steak, or you can just write Japan. So hamburger is a thing in Japan. I'm not sure about other country, but it's basically just the patty of a burger with a sauce, a gravy sauce, and served with a side of some veggie, like normally like cauliflower,
Okay. I found the image.
Oh, you found the image already?
It's just in a bowl or plate. Just put, I don't know. Some of the picture has gravy and some does not.
Yeah,
Put
it's
a patty and then some vegetables next to it.
yeah, some vegetables, sometimes carrots, broccoli, or cauliflower, depending on what their preference is, and the side is normally like potato or rice, depending on which kind of starch you prefer. Sometimes you can see like mashed potato. Sometimes you might see French fries. Sometimes you might see the wedges. And some people who doesn't want to eat potato, they will in Japan they will tend to add they will eat with rice, which is a common dish in a common side for this. So
This one is well known more to Japanese because the other term is saliburi steak.
yeah,
The other word for it.
yeah, I can't remember. I just couldn't remember the proper name for it. I just remember in Japan they call it hamburger steak, and it's really a thing in Japan, and it's one of the common food to eat. It's one of the common state. So it's like how do I say it? It's just that you can't find okay, in any other country is like if you're talking about I think if I say this brand out, it's definitely gonna I know Richie is gonna be aware. It's like if you go and buy gardenia bread, there is always the hamburger bun. which you can get at one two
Yes,
dollars,
I do know that one.
which you can get at a piece of 4 hamburger bun at $1 2, or in Malaysia time money will be around less than $10, or around $10, 8 or $10, I can't remember. But in Japan, you don't find they don't sell those bread though.
Eh?
They don't.
Wait, does that mean that you guys mostly cook by yourself?
Okay, the one thing is that how do those hamburger shops have those hamburger bun? They sauce it up themselves, basically shop that sell them. But if you go to supermarket, like Gardenia bread, you can just go to any supermarket, they will sell it. But in Japan, you go to any supermarket, you can't find a hamburger bun. The nearest hamburger bun I ever come across was either muffin, or it's either muffin or the baguette. Or the baguette.
Yeah.
The baguette. It's like doesn't even look like hamburger to me though.
Nope. Not in a million years.
Yeah. That's why I was like, a lot of time I have to use. I have to improvise. If anyone who follow my old, well, I don't use Instagram as Ameka Kita, but I used to post in Instagram using melon pump. Basically the melon bread. Cut it. And then put one big patty in between, some some coleslaw veggie, some cheese, and then that's my hamburger. I call it the melon bread, the melon hamburger.
Well,
That's one way.
I don't know the words for that.
I mean, a lot of people, I mean, when they don't sell the bread, what can you expect?
Okay, this is actually a thing in Malaysia, and I'm not sure if I may have come across this food yet or have seen it before. There's actually it's more to I'm not sure either it's count as a dessert or appetizer, but it can be a one bite.
What's the name?
Burger Malaysia.
Oh god. That one, okay, that one is
Yes.
that one is really very small, but
Well, it's the easiest one, I think.
okay.
You can make the bread by your own, but it depending on family and tradition, because different family and tradition has different ways to cook it, and then put sambar, put cucumbers, salad, done. You just have a burger.
It's really a small. It's just a quick one. To be honest, I actually call it more like a homemade the home style burger. I would definitely call it a home style burger.
I still remember that my late grandmother ended up saying that this is the reason why Malaysians become lazy. Oh god.
You know the fun part is that I don't like cucumber, to be honest, but I don't mind pickles. The one thing is that the reason why I don't like I don't you guys have to understand one thing is that staying in Japan, the Japanese cucumber is definitely one of my favorite. But if we are talking about the cucumber back in Singapore and Malaysia, the one with the green stripe and light green stripe, that one. I mean, like, what if it's small little slice, 1 or 2 piece, all right. But if you eat the whole freaking cucumber on its own, you're gonna die. You're gonna die from the taste. I can assure you guys. Some people might like it. I know a lot of people like it. I do not like it because the taste is actually some of them I actually come across. It's like they never really check properly the freshness of the cucumber. Some of them taste very very bitter, taste very horrible, and it's if you come like a lot of time I always see a slice or 2 slices of it served in the chicken rice too, or at least in the nasi lemak.
At least, but I sometimes don't understand people that they can eat just like that.
No, the taste. if it's like one or two small slices, I can understand, because if you eat together with the rice, it will not. There will be no taste. But I just don't understand why some people can eat it on its own. It's really not very nice. That's the reason why sometimes when I know about the pickles, when I know about Japanese cucumber, I was like, but when I taste it, it became, oh, I like it. Me like it. So basically, a lot of people need to understand is that cucumber on its own, there is a little bit of not tanginess. It's basically a bit of sour and bitter taste to it, and the taste is really can stay in your mouth for quite almost a whole day if you eat it on its own. I just don't understand why people like it. I know some people is like, how can you not like the green striped cucumber? It's not that I hate it. It's just that at least pickle it. I mean, there is a quick way to pickle. In case anyone need to know, it's just basically slice the pickle up, put into the glass jar or container, prepare a sauce of vinegar, sugar, a little bit of water, just for safety reason. Heat it up, and then pour that hot stuff into the pickle. Let it sit for half an hour or 1 hour or overnight or even the whole day or even the 1 week. It will taste better. But the one it's just making the pickle even tastier because it removes the bitterness, removes all the stain from the freaking cucumber. Yeah, man. Right now, this army talk became a army cooking lesson.
The one I'm amazed was that we were talking about rain, go
From-
into politics, go into flood, afterwards food. But I think we talk food more than
Yeah, I think we need, in the title, we're just gonna say, I'm not gonna put a title for this podcast today. It's just gonna be really a random thought. I have to take back the word at the start of the video. Okay, if as 1 hour 30 minutes ago, I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk about weather, and then right now, yeah, we are all random top again. Hey, at least
it's way off track.
yeah, it's getting way off track. That's the reason why I called. It's a very nice title. That's the reason why you have to choose a very nice title that's suitable for any type of podcast. Like when I call it a random thought, it's a random thought throughout.
Random thought at the point that sometimes I'm quite confused on
Mm.
what are we even talking right now.
Hey, at least it will be nice for the content. I mean, like, you do you have no any idea how much the recording time is already?
Just imagine me putting the ... one.
If I want to do the video editing, I will, but I'm too lazy already for that.
It's a 1 whole hour record.
It's correct. It's 1 hour and 37 minutes of record. 1 hour and 37 minutes already.
Okay, that is way more longer than we expected it. Okay, yeah, bit. Oh no.
Guess we have to stop it then. If not, this is gonna be a long while.
Yes, please.
So guys, sorry that we have to end it now. Someone have to stop. We have to stop. Oh god, I mean, like, I think let's continue the random thought this time. We can. So with that saying, sorry that this random thought, I'm not gonna put a title. I'm just gonna say I just probably gonna put really random thought.
You're not wrong for that one.
Hey, like I say, when I choose a podcast called Random Talk, it really is a random talk.
Okay, end it right now. Oh, it's gonna be more long.
Yeah, okay. Don't forget. Okay, so if you are watching this in the morning, have a good day. If you're watching this in the night time, have a good night rest. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. And this is Ame Gakita together with.
And see you guys again pulling the strings. Bye bye.
Bye. This is gonna be a long one to upload.
That's one, and you're not recording anymore, right?